What's up, guys? It's Greeny, and I'm here. I made it to Thailand, and I'm pretty happy about that. However, I'm in day number 2 of my quarantine, and before I start the video, I just want to show you guys this. I paid a little extra and got a room here with a nice balcony. It's a poolside room. However, yeah, no going in the pool. Not allowed in the pool. It's blocked off. There's like police tape there, as you can see. And no swimming, but it's nice that I can get outside here and I could be anywhere in the world and I know that I'm in Bangkok because I can just close my eyes and I can smell the smell of the food vendors outside there. Outside these walls of the hotel, I can smell Thai food. And the humidity in the air, and it's just a feeling that you only get in Thailand. So I love it, and I feel good that I'm here. But I just want to talk to you guys about my trip over here. I'm going to do another video more about the quarantine hotel, but this video is going to be more about my travels over to Thailand, what my flight was like, and what you can expect when you get to the airport and immigrations and all that type of stuff. So let's get started with this video, and I'll tell you guys what I experienced. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, hit that bell icon, and please subscribe to my channel. The next video, like I said, will be more in depth about the quarantine hotel. So when you're making this repatriation flight to Thailand, you better have all your ducks in a row because a lot of people are going to be looking through your paperwork. I'm going to start this video with my arrival to the airport in Chicago. I got to Chicago, got to the counter to check in. I had to show a bunch of different things. I had to show my visa, my passport, certificate of entry, what else? My insurance, and that was very important. They carefully looked through that, and this is just the people with EVA Airlines checking in. I think they wanted to make sure they didn't have to bring me home, in case I didn't have all the right paperwork and got to Thailand, that they'd have to turn around and take me back home. So they checked everything very thoroughly. So the biggest thing that they looked at was the insurance, and they want to make sure that you have $100,000 worth of coverage and that you also are covered for COVID. My specific letter that I have from my previous employer, it just says that I have no maximum, or it also says that I'm covered for COVID, but I had to point everything out to them, and then they saw that. But another thing that you need to show is your negative COVID test results, and the guy in front of me, he had his, but I think it didn't have his date of birth or something on it. And it's 10 o'clock at night, and he had to make calls to get the right paperwork. Luckily, mine was from a lab. It had my name, date of birth, it had everything in it. You got to bring your fit to fly certificate and your credit card that you booked your flight on. They want to see that. And the last thing they want to see is your confirmation for your hotel. So there's about 6 or 7 documents. And they said pretty much that's what's going to be important when you make it to Thailand. So I go up to the gate, I wait, everything else was pretty normal. Getting ready. But once I got on the flight, I noticed that all the flight attendants, they were wearing like kind of like smocks or gowns, like plastic, and they had goggles on and masks, and they weren't taking any risks. They were very safe, and but it was an uneventful flight. Made it over here. First I got to Taiwan and flew to Taiwan. They gathered us up as a whole group and took us to kind of a waiting area. We couldn't roam the airport or anything. We had to wait in this one little specific area, and then they marched us over to the gate. And we got on our flight to Thailand, and the fun really started once I got to Thailand. So we come in, we land in Thailand, and they take everybody off the plane, and you're kind of lined up, and they lead you. I made it. Just disembarked the airplane, and I guess it's the terminal. You just walk way down, through the terminal to the point where they want to do all this checking on you. And so they walk you through the terminal and just lead you down there. And I noticed as we're walking, through the terminal, I think we got on like a conveyor or whatever, but on both sides it's just lined with chairs, and they're all spread out, socially distant. And so when you get off, you get done with the walkway, and at the end, there's all the chairs spread out, and everybody sits down. And here, take a look at this. So as you come down here, there's all these chairs set up, and I guess they're gonna have us sit down and look at our paperwork or whatever. So you can see all the people are dressed like they're kind of like hazmat suits. I'm thinking I just had a COVID test 2 days ago. I wonder when the last time these people had COVID tests are, but better to be safe than sorry for them, I guess. So sit down on a chair, and a lady comes over in a hazmat suit, and she checks all my information. And I had a lot of paperwork for my insurance because I figured overkill is better, but she handed me back everything and said, no, just show them this. But I had to point out again to her, about my insurance. So she put like a little number on my thing. They gave me a thing to wear that says ASQ, like a placard that I wore. And so I waited. Then I was called up to a desk with another lady in a hazmat suit, and she went over my paperwork again, exact same thing, and stamped it. Okay. So then after that, I went to another lady, and they asked what hotel I was going to, and they gave me like another placard that had like a number on it. 53 was the number for my hotel, and they took the other one. And at that point, I went all the way up to the almost like the exit area, the baggage area, right before there were it's basically the immigration area where you go through immigration. And usually you walk up to the immigration officer. Well, this one, they're all sitting and they're behind glass, and you walk up to them before you go to the regular immigration officer. So I had to deal with kind of two different immigration officers. So the first one, they want to see all your paperwork, and they go through everything, and they ask all kinds of questions. Again, the insurance, I can't stress to you how important it is to get the right verbiage in your insurance paperwork. Because again, they're looking at my insurance, and they're like, oh, you have to have $100,000 insurance. And I'm like, the consulate in Chicago already verified all this, but look, I showed them my letter. I said, right here, it says no maximum. And down here, it says I'm covered for COVID, and I have this Blue Cross. And I took out my insurance card, and I'm showing them the app on my phone. And finally, I think I just overwhelmed them with so much stuff that they were just like, okay. Then I go up to the regular immigration window and start talking to that guy, and he's asking me a million questions. And last year I got here on a tourist visa. It was a 2-month tourist visa that you could extend, and she looked at that, and I just walked right in, no problems. But this year, they were just asking me all kinds of questions. And so at first they were like asking me what is my purpose to come here? I said, retirement. I'm retiring, but why are you coming here? And then I was like, I have friends here. I stayed here last winter, and they want to know my friend's name, and they I happen to have a copy of my friend's ID on in my phone. Do you have your friend's ID? Yes, So whatever. Then they said, well, where are you staying after your quarantine hotel? I said, I had the address written down, and they said, well, how long are you staying there? I said, 4 days. And they're like, 4 days? What do you mean you're only staying there 4 days? And I said, well, I'm going to look for an apartment. That was totally confusing. But I said, I don't know. I haven't been here since last year. I have to find an apartment. I don't know where I'm going to stay. And, so finally, after about 15 minutes, they answered all the questions and got through all that. They let me go, and I grabbed my baggage. And then I went, kind of out to the exit, and then there was more people waiting for me. And they could see, which hotel I was going to based on the number that was on my placard. And so this lady marches me out front right to, and they're all still dressed again in hazmat. And there's a bunch of buses, vans, everything, but I think I was the only one coming to my hotel, so it was just a car waiting for me. And I get in the car, and the back seat of the car is just covered with there's a plastic shield, and the driver's in hazmat gear, rubber gloves, suit, head covering. I don't remember if she had goggles, but here, we'll check it out. Okay, so after that, she drives me to the hotel. I get to the hotel, and right when she drops me off, right in front of the hotel, is a lady sitting there in another like suit, and it's a table, and so she's sitting here, and there's a chair on the other side with a plastic divider in between, and apparently that was the nurse from the hospital. So I sat down there. She took my blood pressure, which after not sleeping for like a long time and all the travels and dealing with everything at the airport, my blood pressure was like 185 over 100 or something like ridiculous. And I think her thing was wrong because I didn't feel like I had my blood pressure high like that. But she took my temperature, did all that type of stuff, and I had to fill out a form and got all kinds of information. And while she's doing this, I see the employee from the hotel. He takes wipes and he's just wiping down my suitcases, and so at least I know my suitcases are nice and clean. And and once I was done with that lady, I had to put an app on my phone. So what I got to do now every day is at 8 in the morning and at 8 at night, I have to text my temperature to the nurse and take a picture of the thermometer. And then there's also an app that the hotel gave me, and I have to go on that app and enter my temperature every time. And so the guy, he took me down to my room. So just got checked in with everything and now walk into the room. My first hotel room that I got to, the internet wasn't working. They had me all the way down at the end of one of the hallways. And I mean, this hotel is it's like a football field long. I mean, it's only 2 stories, but it's long. And I was at the very, 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 very end. And the internet was just shit in this room. It worked for a second, then it wouldn't work. And I have all these apps, and I got to text in my food orders every day, and I got to text in my temperature. And I have to have good internet. I'm going to be here for 2 weeks. And, I plan on streaming some TV shows and sports from America. And I was like, shit. I said, this ain't going to work. I called and I talked to them, and they sent engineer down to my room, and he's trying to fix it and doing all this stuff. And I'm showing him on my phone because I got a tester for the internet. I'm like, this is shit. I said, I can't stay in this room like this for 2 weeks. And I talked to the front desk. I'm like, you can send the manager down to my room, because I said, I'm not staying in this room. There's no way. You need to get this internet fixed or switch my rooms. And finally at 7 o'clock at night, this all started at 12:30 in the afternoon. About 7 o'clock at night, they came and got me and switched my room, and now I'm in a new room, and internet's working good, and I'm happy. I'm gonna do a follow-up video. I'll get a lot more in depth into the, I don't know how in depth I can be. I mean, it's like being in jail for 2 weeks, but I'll get a little bit more in depth. I'll give you a tour of my room and talk to you guys more about, what it's like to quarantine. But anyways, like I said, this is day number 2. And your first day you get here doesn't even count. It has to be full days. So you're really here 15 days, So, so this is technically my day number 2. So wish me luck. I appreciate it. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up and follow along. I'll be doing, I assume I'm gonna be doing a bunch of videos while I'm here in Thailand. I plan on being here for a while. I have no plans on leaving here anytime in the near future. So follow along, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I respond to everybody's questions, and if you're going through this process, good luck. If I can do it, anybody can do it. I'm no genius, but you just have to be meticulous with your paperwork and have all your ducks in a row, and make sure you bring everything with you. Don't you submit all this stuff to the embassy or the consulate. Make sure you have copies of everything. So when you're here, don't have it on your phone or anything. Have paperwork. They want to see paperwork, and just be real thorough.